Yeah, some people listen to off the air podcast and be like, man, these people probably won't explain every joke.
This is a call out for my mom, so if she's listening, hey, we already talked about this, so get off my case. But that's the point. That's the point. Like, I should have known, at least I should have had a base knowledge of, Timothy Chalamet.
You guys, I'm so tired today.
Man, you can't intro an episode of being tired. That's just sad.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah. Get his ass.
Intro the episode with something exciting.
I am wide fucking awake today.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
He's awake.
Look at this awake man.
People will see you and be like, that guy is awake.
I don't think anyone has ever looked at me in my entire life and said, that guy looks awake.
That gentleman there is alert.
That guy just living his best life. Speaking
of living our best lives, I went to go see Suicide Squad last night.
Ooh, how was it?
Well, dude, let me tell you. Got to the theater and, we go in and we're stopped by a manager immediately who says, what time are your tickets for? And we're like, 6:30. And he's like, I'm so sorry. We had a water main break and we're canceling every showing tonight unless you had already bought a ticket for 6:15 already. So I didn't see it.
How was it?
So it was a fake out.
Pretty good. It was a good time. We went out and we got some food and had a fun evening. 6 out of 10.
You lied to us. You're telling me.
Sounds like a 6 out of 10.
No, I'm not lying, Dan. I did go to see it last night. I got dressed. I left the house.
Play back today. I'm pretty sure you said I went and saw it last night.
I doubt I would say that. That would be a lie, and I don't do that.
It's true.
I went to go see Suicide Squad last night.
You know what, Noah? I'm sorry I doubted you. Yeah, you are clearly the best of us.
Thanks. But yeah, so that was my movie-going experience. First time trying to see a movie since I got COVID, actually. So yeah, that's life.
That's it. That was Noah's past 24.
Yeah, that's my past 24. Dan, how are you past 7?
I don't respond to these strange.
Hey Jackson,
how's your past 24?
Yeah, he.
Well, actually, have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with an expanded free trial, which you can play through the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 for free with no restriction on playtime?
You know what? I think I have.
I actually also have.
Yeah, no, I started playing Final Fantasy XIV this last week.
What'd you think?
I mean, it's pretty fun. It's an MMO.
Is it everything that was promised to be?
I mean, it's better than WoW.
I mean,
fair enough.
I never really played that much anyway.
Is it
mostly
true?
because WoW looks ugly.
Do they have like a housing issue in that game?
There is a kind of housing crisis, but it doesn't actually matter. It's more of if you want to buy a house, it's kind of hard.
Okay.
Because they only release housing every once in a while, and it's just like expensive because like if you are playing, especially if you're like playing for free, or if you're like a low level player, you're not gonna buy a house.
Right.
But that makes sense because like there's a limited number of housing, and it's pretty much very expensive because it's usually like bid on or bought from people who are like end game.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. There's a limited number of housing.
I don't know. Because apparently the housing actually like correlates with real spots.
Okay, so you could like there are actual neighborhoods and stuff that you can wander through.
Kind of. Well, not really, but cities.
Okay.
And from like what I understand, it's just kind of like you can buy a house, but it's also limited on the number of houses it makes, and it's not like a single player house. It's like a free company housing. So it's like your entire guild's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a friend of mine used to play, and he hadn't touched the game in months. But he was like, yeah, I mean, I feel like I should keep paying because I have a house, and if I stop paying, I'm going to lose my house, and I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, you would get evicted.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to get evicted. I mean, I don't want to get evicted. I don't know about you.
I hate an MMO. I get why they do it. Like, I understand like the financial reason, but I mean, I desperately despise when you have paid for something and then lose access to it completely or lose it altogether. Either you completely lose access to it, or like it just disappears from your inventory, from your life once you stop paying for the membership.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the why. I get it. It's a money thing, whatever.
Well, I mean, you don't lose most of your things. Like, you wouldn't lose like your mounts or your gear or anything if you stopped paying, and you just couldn't like if you got on, you couldn't use them until you re-upped your subscription. But they would still be there.
The way it
but
works,
just for housing in particular, because it's limited.
Okay, that makes. I mean, that's slightly better. The one that bothered me was way back in the day. I used to play RuneScape a lot, way
Mm.
many years ago. And in that one, if you stop paying and you have shit in your bank, it just straight up like will delete shit out of your inventory, and you can't, and like out of your bank, you can't do anything until you re up.
Oh, I didn't remember it
Yeah,
deleting things. I remembered it
blocking them
locking,
off. You
yeah,
can
locking it off, like
I ran
anything that
into
you
it.
had there.
I remember losing a ton of like reasonable gear because I could no longer use the gear and also could no longer put it in my bank. And I didn't have I literally couldn't do anything with it.
Oh, that's right. There was
Yeah,
some gear that
exactly.
was locked to paid members only, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Quite
mid-tier,
a bit actually.
like
Most of it.
all
Like,
the
well, mid to late.
wasn't
Yeah.
it like all the in-between classes once you got up above like trash tier was like, yeah, and then you can do this. And if you're a paid member, you get this in-between one that makes it easier to upgrade.
It was, a lot of membership was like like the in between, and there's also some member locked classes. But then, I mean, when you stop paying for membership, they didn't delete it forever. They blocked it off so you couldn't access it
No,
until you.
that's what I'm
started
saying.
paying
In my case, I remember losing gear completely because like, and when I paid for it again, did not get it back because I could
Wild.
not. I couldn't do anything with it. Like I couldn't take it off. I couldn't. I just it was just gone. This was many years ago. So I am willing to admit that like there's probably some aspect of I was a dumb kid, but I remember not. There's a reason that I've never gone back to RuneScape, and it starts and ends with that.
I just remember playing RuneScape for years before I ever had like the means to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I finally
That's
paid
the way to
for
do
it
it.
like when I was in like middle school or high school,
Yeah, dude.
and then I just like ascended,
Mm-hmm. You ascend,
and then I just stopped playing forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because they put in that one thing where you just kind of like walk around and click on orbs, and I was like, this is the coolest shit ever.
Dude, the thing that I always got really excited about with membership was the agility courses. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever fucked around with those,
Mm-hmm.
and then the various methods of like fast travel besides the fairy circle or besides the like.
I remember being absolutely thrilled that because I've revisited a few years ago, probably close to like
Yeah.
5 years ago now. But I revisited and I found out that they had like two of the main starting towns. You now just had a built-in teleportation spell to those. I'm like, that's great. What a wonderful improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So one cool thing about RuneScape also is I don't know if they still do it, but I know for the longest time they price locked membership.
Mm-hmm.
So like once you started paying, you got grandfathered into whatever the new price was.
Correct.
So I had a friend that
Mhm.
was paying like $250 for membership until last I knew it might still be if they still have that program.
That's the way to do it.
But like last I knew it was probably in, like
That
high
membership
school, so like
cost
2016, he was
spiked
just paying
pretty
like $2
heavily
for
if memory
membership still.
serves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean I feel like a lot of MMO membership costs are kind of like not insane, but like some of them are pretty pricey.
I literally bought Guild Wars.
That was a cool one because of the purchase.
I was gonna say, like I know I didn't put the time into it that I've spent like money wise, but I regret the purchase. I don't regret the purchase at all because I wildly support actually just buying a fucking game.
Yeah, but isn't that why Guild Wars is like dead?
Is it? I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it still gets updates. I know it's not as popular as it once was.
Oh, Guild Wars is just free to play now.
That's what it was. It went free to play not that long ago, which basically is a death sentence for an MMO.
Yeah, especially if it's fully free to play.
Mm-hmm.
If they have a free to play model,
Yeah.
I actually do think the Final Fantasy 14 free to play model is pretty sick.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Because you just do everything, but then you just can't play the expansions basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. I feel like more MMOs need that free to play option because the hardcore MMO fan base is kind of dead in my opinion. You know, like well, hear me out. The fan base is dead compared to the huge boom that it used to like enjoy. It was like MMOs were the top of the world, and now I'm hard pressed to find people who are excited about new MMOs.
I think part of that is the age and the company that you keep, because I have 2 or 3 people off the top of my head who I know are very into MMOs still.
Oh, I do too. But also growing up, I knew like 10 or 20 people who were really into MMOs. I was really into MMOs.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like I think that like the people who are now that age, like the cycle continues. It just didn't continue with us, if that makes sense, right? Like there are still plenty of people who play MMOs. It's just we aren't the ones who are doing it.
I don't know.
I think there's still a pretty good like hardcore MMO following. I think they're just not. I think they're just. It's not as much a novelty, so it doesn't get the public outcry and attention it used to.
That's fair.
Because like I feel like there was a time where someone was like, "I play World of Warcraft," and then like I don't know, like CBS was like, I need to talk about this now.
I feel like what do you call stuff like you know, South Park making fun of it and helping bring some of the weirder niche elements of it to the public consciousness definitely didn't help.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a time where the public was just like, oh boy, can't wait to laugh about MMO people. And then after a while, it just kind of got to be like, that joke's not really funny anymore.
Yeah.
Like no one was having fun. Like it's not fun to. It wasn't really fun to make. It's kind of the same as like the professional gamer jokes. They just kind of like, people are like, yeah, no, esports people just exist now.
Professional gamer.
In a lot of capacity, bigger than ever, but they just don't get the same ridicule.
Yeah, because it's normalized. It's actually become less publicized.
So actually, I was thinking about that this morning because I saw someone tweet about Free Guy, and they said that they did not enjoy it. But one of the things that they hated about it was that they brought in streamers to be like some of the stars in the movie.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Oh, that sounds like it's... See, the movie that I thought would already be complete garbage and would
firstly,
just hate, you just made it sound worse to me somehow.
Well, I agree it's going to be bad, but like I feel like that isn't a bad that makes sense as a choice.
No, it does make sense in my opinion. What bugged me though is obviously they pulled in like Ninja, Pokimane. I think they brought in Jacksepticeye and a couple other people as well.
Yeah.
So like some of these people I'm fine with.
They were like, we need to have Fortnite Ninja in the movie.
That's literally, I don't know why they would have done that, right?
Oh, it's so good. After they put him in Raid Shadow Legends, where's he going next? This guy's all over the place.
One thing that really did get to me was there was one person in the comments talking about how internet celebrities will never be real celebrities, and it was the most painfully out of touch thing that I've read in a long time. Because they're not celebrities in the sense that you know who they are, but dare I say, I'm not familiar with any like up and coming Hollywood celebrities. I didn't know who Timothée Chalamet was until he got cast in Dune. And
Timothée Chalamet?
Yeah, no, I
really
had no knowledge of him.
Yeah, he's been big for. I mean, he's the A24 guy.
So good. He's not up and coming. He's
that's
well established. I feel like it is.
But that's the point. That's the point. Like I should have known at least. I should have had a base knowledge of Timothée Chalamet, the A24 guy. But no, as far as I knew, Timothée Chalamet came out of nowhere for Dune, and so many people were excited. I'm like, oh, he must be like some indie film star. Like people love this guy. And then I look into him more, and he's freaking huge.
Yeah, he's in like 5
people know who
movies.
he is. Yeah, like I have no idea how that happened, but like it's not beyond the realm of possibility in my mind. Like if I don't know who one of the great modern actors is.
His name sucks though.
It does suck.
To be fair,
it does. It just sucks. I don't know how to spell. So like Chalamet is a rough one.
Yeah, you think you might know how to spell Timothy, but I bet you don't.
Doesn't have 2 E's?
Fancy.
2. One of them's accented though. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I think he seems like a nice enough guy though.
Yeah. As nice as any Hollywood actor is.
Oh yeah, I mean he's probably like a pompous asshole half the time. I mean his name is spelled like it is. But you know, I like some of the movies he's in. I like Lady Bird.
I was seeing someone on TikTok doing celebrities as Wario and Mario. And they had Timothée Chalamet as Mario, and then his Wario was what's his name? The kid from Baby Driver who turned out to be like a really shitty dude.
Oh yeah,
I feel like Timothée Chalamet might be his own Wario though.
I also think that, but
like I don't have any proof for it. He just kind of
nothing about him.
Yeah, he just looks like he would say "Daddy." Like he probably is a nice guy. Again, from everything I've heard, he seems like a nice enough guy. But he looks and his name is spelled like someone who would say "Daddy," and then ask for something.
A pony, probably.
Yeah, he probably has a pony. Honestly,
I mean
2 even.
Yeah.
Well, he probably doesn't have one, but he probably has like the exclusive rights to one that someone else has.
Yeah,
my theory.
He owns the concept of ponies.
Yeah, he owns the concept of like the Shetland pony. He purchased like the exclusive rights to it.
Man, that's a scary thought. That someday someone actually could do that.
Someday he already did.
I'm sorry.
We're talking about it right now.
They could do that to something I care about, other than a Shetland pony.
I mean, R. Kelly owns Michael Jackson's music.
I do forget about that.
Yeah.
I try to forget R. Kelly exists.
Yeah, you forget that like someone can just be like, actually, I'd like this now. Well, what would you like, R. Kelly? Oh, Michael Jackson's discography? Yeah, we're willing to sell that to you? Like,
did he buy it before or after?
I have no idea. I just know
because that's, I think, the important thing here. Because I don't know that I believe that it could have happened. I don't want it to have happened after, but I believe it could have.
Very true.
Michael. R. Kelly and Michael Jackson. Oh, it's because he wrote "You Are Not Alone," so he owns that one.
Oh, just that one?
I don't know if he owns all of them or not, but I just know he does own that one. Oh, I guess he
really
produced
hope
some
he
of Michael Jackson's music in general, and wrote some of it as well. That makes sense then why he would own it. Never mind, it's not actually Insanity. It's just he was production behind it. And here I thought he was just like an unrestricted third party who just, made
Did
the
it
one
'cause
song
he
in
could.
Space Jam, peed on a kid, and then bought Michael Jackson's music.
I mean, kind of like how Apple owns everything the Beatles ever put out.
Yeah, but that's different because corporations are different than people, and they should be able to do whatever they want forever.
Sure.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
Thank you.
At least Apple's never done anything as bad as R. Kelly.
Yeah, it's true. You guys play Final Fantasy 14?
You know, I haven't, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah, my character is actually his name is Giblet Barnborn, and it's just my cat.
That's very cute.
You know what? I respect it.
I just made a cat person character, and I just made them after
I
my
can't believe
cat.
Jackson's
and,
outing himself as a fucking furry.
You know what? I gotta talk about that. We gotta talk about furries again.
Oh no.
It's time to once again enter the realm.
Okay.
I can't believe we're entering your realm and we're sipping of the nectar.
Yeah, the nectar will be sipped. What's going on with the Netflix Sexy Beast show?
Yo, what the fuck is up with that show?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yo.
I think we're experiencing another little wave of furry gentrification.
I agree.
Where it's just like everyone's like, "Oh my god, yes, this show's so cool."
Are people actually saying it's good? I've never heard anyone say anything
It's more
good
of like
about
a novelty.
Okay.
I mean, I know someone who really enjoys it. I don't know that they would be like, "Oh, the show is so good," but they do really enjoy it.
It's one of the worst shows I've ever watched. And let me get into a little bit of why. Beyond the weird aspect of like everyone hates furries, but it's funny when hot people do it. It's also just like the entire show, the whole time they're like, wow, you have to fall in love with someone based on their personality alone. Only their personality. This is all about personality. You can't tell anything else about them. And then like all the guys and like the girls who are being put onto like this dating show, the ones who are, choosing someone, they're always like, God, I love a guy with big arms, or oh boy, I love a girl with a fat ass. Guess what face paint doesn't hide?
A fat ass.
Yep.
Listen, dude, if you got a badonk,
that's the whole thing. They're like,
no amount of face paint is gonna hide that badonk, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, the guy will be like, oh boy, I love a woman with huge booba. And then they'll be like, well, we put her in a leopard mask, you'll never know. How the fuck would you never know? They're right there. But yeah, that's so it's confusing on that regard. And then every single time they do the thing where they're like, we took off the makeup, it's hot people. Of course it's hot people, Netflix. It's always hot people with you. When are you going to put ugly people in face paint and let them hang out?
I don't believe it. That's not possible.
It's just insane. It's kind of like that Love is Blind show. They're like, you'll never know what they look like. Don't worry, they're definitely hot, though. Everyone on this show was, like, conventionally attractive. But you don't know what they look like. Yeah, it's just...
I'm not going to lie. I was worried for a minute.
Yeah, it's just... It's so... I don't know. It's annoying. Because even more so than Love is Blind, because that one sucked for other reasons. Mostly that they were like, wow, we've taken out all elements of appearance in terms of dating, and then immediately everyone's just like, yeah, we're gonna get engaged after 3 seconds together, and then see each other, and then decide not to get married. And you're like, well, that kind of fell apart pretty quick.
Just a little bit.
Like, Sexy Beast is just like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just people putting on like half fursuits and then being like, man, let's go on some dates. And also, it's just like they go on like 2 dates. First of all, the show flies them all to England usually. Some of them are actually from England, a lot of them aren't. So it takes place in London, and they get people from all over the country. They send them on 2 dates, and they're like, "Wow, you guys matched up in the end." Like, I hate to break it to you, but 2 people, one of them's from Connecticut, one of them's from, I don't know, like, Argentina, they're probably not gonna stay together after 2 dates in
Just the
animal
logistics,
masks.
yeah.
Like, something tells me it's not, like, real matchmaking, it's just, like, a funny date show.
I mean, that's how
So it
most of
doesn't
those date shows are, though.
Well, yeah, but like, the guys of the show is acting like it's not just that. Like, it's acting like they're starting a relationship, and it always, like, poses it. They're like, "Yes, this is now you guys are dating." It's not gonna work. It's not happening. Especially because all the people who go on the show are like, "Yeah, I'm an incredibly horny person. I love to cheat on my partners. Also, I need to be having sex every day or else I will be sad forever." You're like, wow.
Jackson, have you considered, though, they could be sad forever?
I know, that sounds sad. Forever. But, like, that's the other thing is all of the characters just, like, all the people that get on the show just suck. Because all of them are like, "Yeah, I would never date someone based on their personality." And you're like, wow, what? Huh? Yeah, and they're all just, like, really weirdly horny, and they're like, "I hate people's personalities, and I love Badonkadonk."
I mean, to be fair,
But
I
yeah,
guess I'm not surprised that that's the new Netflix dating show. It makes sense.
yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm blown away by it, but it just sucks. And, like, it doesn't, like, the only point it's trying to actually, like, prove is not even, like, remotely attempted at, you know? It's like, it doesn't, like, the premise of the show doesn't work. It's like they had a couple people in, like, the studio who are like, "Hey, I'm really good at effects makeup, particularly like for animals." And then they were like, well, "Okay, well, we need to make a show about that."
there's literally 100% chance that that's what happened.
Yeah, I just I mean, I don't know. I just wasn't impressed by it. I watched it. It just seemed weird, and all the people who were on it seemed to suck. But it's also like they're on a dating show for a reason. Like it's kind of hard to get like very attractive people who are constantly single and are also like not shitheads.
Yeah.
Because like if you're a solid like 9 or 10, and you're like, "Yeah, no, I can't ever date anyone for more than like 3 days." I don't know why, man.
Yeah, that's yikes.
And then they're also the one guy on like the first date was like, "Yeah, it's really hard for me to not cheat on people."
What?
Yeah, I was like,
How? How is it that hard not
Yeah,
to cheat on people?
I don't know.
Yikes.
He's like, "It's just really difficult for me to not cheat." I'm like, why would you say that on a first date? Or why would you even be on dates if that's something that you like? Why would you be looking for a relationship if you're also like, "Yeah, by the way, I'm just gonna fuck you over." Like it's just it's just so
Wow.
Yeah, that's yeah, the show's not good.
The thing I'm always interested in for those shows, and almost every reality show that involves like other people and relationships in any way. Um, Same with like what is it, Fab Five or whatever the fuck it's called.
I don't know what that is, but
what the fuck is the actual show called?
I don't know.
Whole bunch of gay people do makeovers. What the fuck is that show?
wait, that's not a dating show, though.
No, but any show that I'm saying any show that deals with like relationships and like
Oh, okay.
all I ever care about is like I want to see what the 6 months later looks like.
I agree. That's the best thing about 90 Day Fiance.
I will admit, Queer Eye. That's the fucking God. I cannot think of the fucking.
Yeah.
Like Queer Eye, 90%. Literally, I think every episode I've been like, damn, I really want to know like how they do it.
Do they do any of this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, do they just give up immediately, like most people you would expect to will? Like, what is the?
I don't know if I would expect most people to give up immediately.
Within 6 months.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that gives me some hope for like a lot of the people on Queer Eye is I'm like, they are like, you can usually tell if someone's actually trying.
Yeah.
As opposed to like they're just like, yeah, I got put on the show.
I haven't watched Queer Eye in a hot minute. I should go back to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like shitty reality TV, as everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's just always hard for me whenever I encounter someone who also likes it, and I'm like, yeah, it's just like really, really awful, and like I hate them all. And they're like, actually, I sympathize with them. I understand the show, and I would do the same thing. I'm like, you do the same thing?
No,
because that happened to me not that long ago with someone I shall not mention. You guys don't know him either, but it's you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Because I don't want to besmirch someone's character because I like them.
I might.
They're, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were just like, I personally thought Sexy Beast was a really cool like social experiment. I'm like, you thought it was a really cool thing?
Cool social experiment, huh?
I'm like, I was laughing at it the whole time because it was bad.
Experiments?
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
You guys remember when pranks were social experiments? for a while.
Oh yeah, that was the worst timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Just the constant.
That was like for
It's a
like
social
I feel like 2 years,
experiment.
and then everyone was like, "No, stop." Like
Everyone's like, I'm actually just being racist as a social experiment
yeah, you don't understand, sir.
to see what would happen if I was mean to someone.
I
Oh,
just
they
wanna,
don't like
I
it.
just want to know what people would think of me if it turned out that I was just super racist.
And then people are like, hey, I actually don't like this. And they're like, wow, I can't believe it.
Who could have?
So
why
The
much
did
best
for
they
the
ones
warn
were when the
me?
tolerant
people would
left.
be like, yeah, like the ones where the people were like, like would go in like public and be like, hey man, you trying to like get the strap? And then obviously, whenever they would say that around people, you know, who were potentially involved with illicit consumption of firearms, they would oftentimes pull a gun on them because you just threatened to pull a gun on someone, and turns out when you do that, they'll pull a gun on you.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be like, no, I was joking. It's actually this towing strap. See what this says about our society?
I can't. It's the same. It's
Like,
prank.
no, you just tried to pull a
Social
gun on someone
experiment
and they
prank
pulled a gun on you.
videos are the same energy as Caitlyn Bennett, the gun girl, going up and harassing people, and then when they're like, "What's your problem?" she'll just go, "You know I carry, right?"
Yeah.
It's the same energy.
You're like, okay, are you gonna shoot me? Like, is that because then you understand you still go to jail for that? It's not like a concealed carry permit is like permission to shoot.
Actually, it is. James Bond taught me that.
True.
Oh, that's true. He does shoot. You know what? That's actually a perfect segue. I want to talk about spy movies for the third time this year.
Oh,
'Cause I
hell
like to
yeah.
talk about spy movies.
I
a
love
lot.
spy movies. Is there a new one?
This has a bit of a tragic ending to the story, though.
Oh,
But
no.
I did watch Austin Powers this week because it's on Netflix now.
Oh,
So
maybe I'll finally
wonderful.
watch it.
yeah, all three of them, and sometimes not at all. So Austin Powers are all on Netflix now. Also, I watched the Kingsman 2,
Ooh.
but only the first half.
Ooh.
And then I had to go home because I had to like do some stuff before the next morning, and I was like, oh, it's already getting kind of late. And I was watching it with Mari and her sister was like, it's okay, we're just watching it on Netflix. And I was like, okay, I'll just go home and finish it then. She was lying; it wasn't on Netflix. Apparently, they were just watching it because it was on TV, and it like just on TV.
Oh my gosh.
And I just didn't. I guess I just didn't notice there were commercials or something because I watched like half of it. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, it's on Netflix." And I was like, "All right, cool."
Neat, ratty.
That was a lie.
Joke is on you.
The lie detector determined that was false. Yeah, and I was really sad because I went home and I like booted up Netflix and I was like, I'll watch the other half of this movie while I had to roast some coffee, because I needed to get it to someone the next day, and I was like, okay, I gotta do this tonight. And then yeah, tragedy struck. It just wasn't there, so I can't fully talk about spy movies because I didn't get to finish the movie, and I won't be able to for the foreseeable future.
I've never seen any of the Kingsman movies, but I've heard that they're a really enjoyable watch.
They're really good.
The first one is very, very good. They go down in quality from there. The second one is fine.
Aren't there only two?
No, isn't there also the Kingsman?
Oh, that's right. That did come out recently.
A prequel?
Is that actually?
No,
has that actually come
Kingsman
out?
3. Oh no, it didn't.
Yeah,
it didn't come out. It didn't end up coming out because the Rona.
Oh.
But it's going to, right?
It's
Like,
going to. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be like the original,
Prequel.
like the Kingsman. It's supposed to be the first one. So it's a prequel. So don't say they go down in quality. You've only seen
That's
yeah.
fair.
The second
one
is
pretty
I
good.
love
You
how-
haven't
The
seen
second one
third
has gone down. The second one is worse than the first one.
I love how the second one left a bad enough taste in your mouth that you'll still like talk about how you liked it, but you thought you'd seen the third one and didn't like it because of it.
Right?
I thought the second one. I mean, I only watched the first half of it, but I was like, this is the same thing, pretty much.
It is basically that. I will give you that. It is the same thing. I have a
was
couple.
a little jarring, and like again, this isn't really a spoiler, but I think the promotional material kind of ruined the movie because why would they put on every poster that one of the prominent characters from the first one who gets shot in the head didn't die?
Yeah.
And literally all of the movie posters are like, he's okay. Like, why didn't they hide that?
Yeah, that felt like that was a bad surprise.
Like, I hated like walking into a theater, not even to see like the Kingsman or anything, and just seeing a poster of like him, and I was like, oh, the guy who got killed.
Yeah.
Like, well, thanks for spoiling it for me, movie. And he's on like the DVD case, he's on like the movie poster cover. Like, it's just and granted, it's revealed that he didn't die very early into the movie.
Oh yeah,
it's still like
it still is it's a weirdly sudden reveal, and it doesn't feel satisfying.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel satisfying. And everyone knew it was gonna happen because
They
if
basically
you go
they
to
told
click
us.
on the movie on like Netflix, or if you buy it, well, it's not on Netflix. I would know. But if you go to like watch the movie anywhere, on like the title image, it's like that guy. I'm like, what? Yeah. So,
I
but I
don't
do
know.
like Mark Strong, the guy who plays Merlin. He's cool.
Yeah, he's very cool.
He's the bad guy in The Terminal.
I'm a huge fan of him. He's in a couple of things nowadays.
Yeah,
He's getting
he's
work.
a good guy. He's Mark Strong. Everybody, Mark Strong.
Oh, this guy.
He's
Yeah.
great. I've
He's
never
very
seen him in anything and been
recognizable.
like, damn, I don't like him in this.
If you ever need to have like a movie where you need like somebody to be like an administrator,
An
like,
administrator, but also low
there's
key
not a better
badass.
guy. Yeah, there's not a better guy to have be like your like not necessarily administrator, but like your bureaucrat, but like that's cool.
Yeah, he's a coolocrat, if you will.
He's a cool bureaucrat. Yeah, I think the Kingsman movies are really fun. I also don't really like. I think they're spy spoof movies. Honestly,
They are.
I don't know that that's like necessarily like the public consensus.
I feel like if it's not, it should be because they are.
I agree. I think it should be for sure. Like they are. I actually talked about this a while ago on the podcast.
They're parodies.
How I think the Kingsman and Austin Powers are like two really good examples of spy spoof movies.
Yeah.
That are still.
They're still good spy movies, but also good spy spoof movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
The Kingsman more so on like a serious note, and it more spoofs like the scenarios.
Yeah.
Whereas Austin Powers kind of does spoof the scenarios, but also way more tongue in cheek about it, and also way more spoofing of like the characters themselves. But I don't know. I like both.
I think there's a place for both. I think both are very, very good.
I just think there will always be a place for Austin Powers.
True.
It's just I don't know that I think that it is definitely not aged perfectly.
Or
that well.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, I'm telling you that a raunchy comedy from the 90s actually didn't age perfectly.
Whoa. I am shocked.
But there are some classic jokes though. Like the woman named A Lot of Vagina. It's a great name.
I mean, I feel like
vagina.
I really do feel like that's a
Italian.
really fantastic commentary on James Bond's naming mechanics, though. Like pussy
it's
galore.
so good.
Exactly. I'm sorry. It sounded like you said your name was a lot of and then when the Alata, the character says in Japan the men come first and the women come second, and then Austin says, well, sometimes not at all. It's bad. It's not actually very funny. but
it's also very
but it's pretty
Yet
funny.
you're laughing. I can't
Yet
believe we have to
you
cancel
laugh.
Jackson just now.
Just so he says, oh, sometimes not at all. It's just so like the way I just love the idea of someone being like, you know what I'm gonna say to be flirty? That.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I like Austin Powers. I think it's funny. Also, why use the escalator when I've got a perfectly good canoe?
I don't get it, but I feel like it's a dick joke, right?
No, actually.
What?
Not at all. Yeah. It's he's doing like the classic when people like do the pretending to walk down the stairs like behind a couch.
Yeah.
He's doing that. He's like, well, I take the stairs when I could take the elevator, and he's like, oh, I take the elevator when the escalator's working fine. And then the last bit is, why would I take the escalator when I've got a perfectly good canoe? Oh, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny.
You see, it's very
For
funny.
the love of God, my recording's still going. Never mind. I'm having some recording issues today.
That was me last week. Don't say true.
Untrue?
Say no, Jackson. Your recording was impeccable.
Jackson, last week's recording was some of the best work I've ever seen.
Thank you.
You can't be mean to Jackson. He's the only one who like showed up and put the work in last
All right,
week.
sir.
I don't even remember doing
Come
that.
on, Dan. Come
Woo!
on. I think we can both agree it's ball at the end of things. You rounded out the last 20 minutes.
One of my favorite podcast bits is when one of us will be like, "Hey, I kind of liked X thing we did," and then the person you say that to will say, "Huh?"
What?
I'd be like, "Noah, I thought it was pretty cool the way you brought in like blank," and you'll be like, "I did what?"
It's called
Yes, I did do
poor
that.
memory.
We're all very coherent.
Dude, it's called quality podcasting content, is what it is.
I don't exactly think Therefore,
I'm not gonna lie. I had thought about like this week trying to come back with like a better case for Crime Scene Kitchen and like more coherently say it now that like my foot wasn't trying to kill me. But I don't really know what else I would say about it.
I gotta watch it, so I can give my 2 cents on this.
I gotta be honest, it's worth a watch. It's a really cool concept. You know, it's fun as someone with a base knowledge of like baked goods to try and figure it out before they do, and then they say something really stupid that I've never heard of, and that's what the dish is. I didn't know blue velvet cake existed, but it does.
I've heard and seen blue velvet cake before, but I've never had it.
What camp of red velvet cake are y'all in? Because I love red velvet, and I need to know.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
It sure is cake.
I think it definitely is an S tier cake if paired with cream cheese frosting.
Oh, it has to be.
I think it is behind carrot cake though.
Okay.
And I don't really consider coffee cake to be a traditional cake.
No.
But I think that is another S tier cake.
Especially if you're in the realm of cream cheese frosting, it is really hard to beat a carrot cake. A good carrot cake.
And that's where most of my rankings for cake comes from, is really just its ability to pair with cream cheese frosting, because I don't really like any other kind of frosting. I'm okay with like a buttercream, but I'll just honestly, I'd prefer it not iced. I won't scrape it off because I'm not 7, but like
I love buttercream, but I really hate like whipped cream frosting and the ones that are just like sugar. I would
prefer genuine, just like a can of Ready Whip on top of a cupcake than most frostings. At least most whipped cream frostings. Like
I'm with you on that one.
How is a whipped cream frosting just worse than whipped cream? Just put whipped cream on the goddamn thing.
Is so bad. It's just too sweet, right? It's just so much sugar.
Like somehow you added sugar, and it made things worse. Yeah. Royal icing, I feel the same way about. It's just too much sugar. Like it just. If I'm eating a baked good most of the time, I don't really just want to eat sugar. I want to actually eat a baked good, you know? Like, why would I want a shortbread cookie if it was actually 2/3 of it was just sugar and coloring? Like, if I wanted to eat sugar and coloring, I could just, like, put some green in a bag of Domino sugar and eat it with a spoon.
See, I
don't want to do that.
I feel like I've had to, on the subject of red velvet again, just real quick. I feel like I have to defend my take that red velvet is one of my favorite cake flavors a lot, because a lot of people come at me with the stupid, it's actually just chocolate cake with red food dye, which is not true. That's how a lot of places make it. But there's like, it is technically a different recipe. And what bugs me is Orange is the New Black popularized that take into being the funny, quippy way of saying, only chocolate and vanilla cakes should exist. All other cakes suck. Because this.
No, that's the dumbest shit. Like, take a single bite of like a lemon cake and you'll be like,
I love a good vanilla cake. I love a good chocolate cake. But there's so many good cake flavors out there outside of the core two.
Yeah, same.
Lemon bundt cake is so good.
Yeah, I think lemon almond, so good. Almond cake, carrot cake. And the thing about the red velvet is that whenever people are like, you know, half the time you get a red velvet cake, it's actually just chocolate with food coloring in it. I'm like, okay, I like chocolate cake though. So like, what's your problem?
Congratulations, you're right.
Oh,
you fool! Eating chocolate
fuck
cake.
Me, I ate a piece of chocolate cake.
I thought you were cooler than that.
Shut up. Yeah, like I don't get like.
Everyone knows
eating people get so aggressive about things like that. It's the same as when people are like, "Oh, white chocolate's not real chocolate." Like, yeah, but it tastes good.
I had that argument with my mom the other day because I was talking about having like a lavender white chocolate bar, and it was delicious.
That sounds good.
And the options were, you know, dark milk or white. And Nina wasn't feeling up to dark, and milk was so-so according to the person who was selling them. So we went with the white chocolate lavender. It was so good. And this is a call out for my mom. So if she's listening, hey, we already talked about this, so get off my case. But she was like, oh, and as I was telling her about this, she's like, I just don't care for white chocolate. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because it's not real chocolate. Shut up. I like white chocolate. She's like, well, no, it's fine. it's fine for what it is. I'm like, I know it's not real chocolate because that was immediately what she's just like, it's not real chocolate. I don't care if it's not real chocolate, Linda. What I'm saying is I enjoy white chocolate because it's just different. And as it turns out,
Coming out with the chocolate takes, call her that lint.
But see, I learned the deep white chocolate lore as to why Linda hates white chocolate more than just she loves regular chocolate. And it's
Okay, what's the lore?
It's because growing up, her mom got her sister nice chocolate, and for whatever reason had to differentiate the chocolates that her two children got. So my mom got like Easter themed white chocolate, and her sister got milk or dark chocolate of the same theme.
Can I tell you a tragic story?
Please do.
That also happened to me.
But you don't hate white chocolate, do you?
I don't like it as much as regular chocolate, but I like it. But as a youth, my parents also got like whenever we got specifically Easter baskets. My sister always got like regular chocolate or dark chocolate, and I always got white chocolate everything.
Wild.
Yeah, I don't know why. Apparently, this is not a. So I sympathize with her on that. But I suppose I have come to terms with this trauma.
You've transcended.
And everyone processes this. No, I actually don't really like white chocolate that much, and I honestly feel like I would like it more if that wasn't the case, if it wasn't the only chocolate given to me. You know, even this year for Easter, my mom, we didn't have like Easter baskets or anything, but my mom actually got Mario and I little like chocolate. I think they were lions. They were just little chocolate, animals. And Mario got a dark chocolate one. I got white chocolate.
And
I don't
so
know
the
why I
saga
haven't.
continues.
I think it's because my sister didn't like white chocolate, and I was like, yeah, I like it. So my mom was like, all right, white chocolate only for you forever.
That happens
like that's
in
not
every
the first time that's happened to me.
aspect of growing up, though. Like, you mentioned you like a thing one time, and that is the thing. You're gonna get that.
I've actually, that is a definitely a trend with my mom, and not in a bad way, but like
no. It means that they were listening at that one time.
Yeah, like it really does come from a good place where like my mom's like, oh yeah, my son likes white chocolate, I'm gonna get him white chocolate, but I'm like, and I don't have the heart to be like, I don't like white chocolate as much as regular chocolate. You just asked me if I liked it one time. I said, yeah. That doesn't mean I'm team white chocolate now and forever. It just, so that's been kind of the, I mean, it's not an issue. I always eat it because I'm like, yeah, it's still free chocolate.
You're not about to sit here and say no, thank you. Also,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm just kind of like, well, I really don't like it as much as I just like regular chocolate.
I will say white chocolate is my favorite to pair with like coffee though. I know a lot of people like the chocolate and coffee combos, like a dark chocolate and coffee because they accentuate each other's like blah 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 blah. No, pass for me. I love the smooth creaminess of white chocolate and that specific tang it has.
White chocolate coffee makes more sense because it got more milk in it.
Mm-hmm. It's very tasty. I love how it works. So that's my task to you, Jackson. Roast up some white chocolate coffee beans.
Can't. That's not how that works.
Wow.
But I can roast up some beans that work well with white chocolate.
Can't believe you hate me.
Actually, today I had finished roasting a naturally processed Burundi coffee.
Ooh.
It's an all like single like red bourbon varietal, and it's grown at a high altitude in Burundi, and it tastes a little acidic but very like cherry.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm a fan. It's one that I've struggled in roasting before.
Mm-hmm.
I bought 5 pounds of it a while ago. I still have most of it because I don't think I've been hitting it right. Whereas what I did this time just seemed to really be the move.
Nice.
Which was a little darker than I had previously taken it, but still pretty light overall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tasty cup of coffee. I was actually drinking it earlier, and I was like, man, this is one of the best cups of coffee I've ever had.
Nice.
Which has been the nice thing about roasting coffee is it's kind of like once a week I have one of the best cups of coffee I've ever had.
And it's just going to be like that until you stop roasting coffee.
Exactly. I honestly kind of think so, though, because so much of it is just refreshing because I'm like, man, I did all of this. Like the only thing I didn't do is take it off the plant.
There's definitely a I made this with my own 2 hands kind of thing going on.
Yeah, so it definitely just feels I feel like that definitely ups the taste factor for me personally. But also I do think it yields like really really fresh coffee every time I drink coffee anymore, which has been really nice.
It does sound really nice.
That little espresso machine I got is kicking it. I actually recently made, well, I didn't make. It's not really like I did anything, but my thing has been, I'll be putting espresso in my cereal. Cause like that's the thing. Like you can go to a lot of cafes and you can get like a latte made with cereal milk. It's just a thing. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good enough. I mean, it's like using flavored milk. It sounds fine. But I was like, why would I get a cereal milk latte when I could just put cereal in a bowl with milk like usual and then just add espresso?
You know, I feel like there's only a couple of things that I would actually like. There's only a couple of cereals that I would actually be okay with trying that.
Yeah, I agree, but I also don't really eat cereal very often. I had a box of like half-eaten box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I think that was like definitely one of the best ones I could have chosen to start with.
For sure.
Because it's just like it's just cinnamon sugar, like and that's already a thing people put in their coffee all the time.
Yeah.
It's like that, like Cocoa Puffs. It's just like it'd probably be good. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of more cereals, and most of them sound really good. I think Golden Grams
could work
with some espresso in it. I feel like that'd be really good. I don't know about like Fruit Loops though. Maybe I do like a fruity latte, but I don't know if it's the right kind of fruity. So we'll never know. This is an expanding field.
I was gonna say, Jackson, this is your homework for this week. You gotta go do some research and come back to
get some new cereal. It's fun though. And then you eat the cereal like normal, and it's got like a coffee flavor to it, and then you just pour it into a cup when you're done.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of ice and then. Because all the cereal milk lattes, because I looked into them, and all like the people who do it, they're like, yeah, you just basically put the cereal in the milk for like half an hour, and then you just strain it.
Yep, that's it.
Like, but why would I want to waste the cereal? So I just eat the cereal too. Like, but it's soggy cereal. I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah, who cares?
I'd rather eat soggy cereal than eat nothing at all. Especially if I'm still gonna be like drinking the cereal milk, like
And I gotta be honest, some soggy cereals are good. Like, preferable.
Yeah, people who
eat
eat on soggy cereals are quitters. Like, you give up on something after it stops being perfect for you. Like, get over yourself.
Exactly.
The one thing I would agree with you to a point.
I'm struggling so hard to not cheat constantly.
No,
all of you.
Sorry, Dad. I you're up. What's up?
No, I actually, when you started saying that, I was like, huh? And then I was like, because after I made the joke, I was gonna be like, I hate to see your marriages because cereal milk quitters. And then you started saying something, and I was like, and then it was related, and I was like, man, he did it. A little bit of the process there.
It's called a callback.
Yeah, some people listen to Off the Air podcast and be like, man, these people probably won't explain every joke.
But nope, we will. We want to make sure that you know.
You fucking dumbass. Of course I'm going to explain every joke. What do you think this is? Suzuki Joe's Variety Hour? Fuck you. See, that joke was because Suzuki Joe is a recurring enemy of the podcast.
I will say, I feel like this season we haven't talked too much about enemies of the podcast.
I think I was actually thinking about this. You know how there are like I feel like it's because we have all the known enemies of the podcast, and I feel like we should focus a little bit more on the unknown enemies of the podcast.
Okay. I mean, this is season 4. We're literally in the beginning of season 4 of the podcast.
Yeah, and as we go to season 4, I think we need to kind of have a little bit of concern for the unknown. The enemies of the podcast who writhe within the shadows, who undulate in the darkness.
You know what? I know who the unknown enemy of the podcast is.
No, you probably don't because of the whole name.
No, it's that one guy who gave us less than a 5-star review on iTunes.
Yeah, that guy probably sucks, or maybe right.
I don't know who he is, but fuck that guy. That's enemy of the podcast number 0.
That's unknown enemy of the pod. So if you or anyone you know or unknow is or may know an unknown enemy of the podcast, make it known.
Mm-hmm.
I found a bow in my house the other day.
As in
a bow and arrow.
What kind of bow are we talking here?
Yeah.
Excuse?
Yeah, I found this
You
recurve
found it?
bow. Yeah.
I'm so confused.
It was just in like a sock, like a big like gray sock.
Oh.
Not like a foot, like not like a sock for your foot.
I understand
but like
that you didn't mean
a
a sock for your foot, but it genuinely did take me a solid like 2 seconds to realize that you did not in fact mean a
it's
sock.
just like a
for
big
your
old
foot.
sock for a bow, and it was in the corner, and I pulled it out. I was like, damn, this is just straight up a recurve bow.
Wild.
Yeah, it's pretty sick actually.
That does sound pretty sick.
I gotta buy some arrows and try shooting this thing. Had a string with it too. I feel like it's from when I was like a teenager.
That makes sense.
Well, you're gonna want to make sure you
But
wax up that string and make sure it's not too dry.
Well, string luckily has not been on the bow because even as a teenager, I was a smart teenager.
There you go.
So the bow has not been strung this entire time. If it had been, I would just get a new one. But it's actually been in a container. It's actually been like in a little sealed envelope.
I mean, I would definitely recommend you get it checked out wherever you end up getting your arrows, just in case. But
Walmart.
Actually,
Actually, I don't think you can buy arrows at Walmart anymore.
I don't think you can
anymore.
I think Walmart was because it was one of those things where you could just go to Walmart and just like buy a bow and arrows and like a gun for a long ass time, and then Walmart all of a sudden was like, maybe we shouldn't be in the firearms business,
right? I remember,
and now you can just buy fishing poles.
Honestly.
I remember when they were first phasing out ammo, and it was seen as an attack on our freedoms and whatever.
Freedom. Yeah.
This guy I know,
and not as like a blessing for local firearm shops.
Literally.
Or anything.
This guy I know went and he's like, yeah, I tried to buy ammo, and the guy asked me if it was for a handgun, and I asked him why that mattered, and he said that if I was gonna sell you ammo for a handgun, then we'd have to stop because I'm not allowed to sell handgun ammo. And I'm just like, I remember at the time thinking, well, that's an invasion of privacy. And now I'm like, oh, yeah, because there were so many freaking handgun deaths going on at the time where like they had to reel some things in. But yeah, thank goodness they finally stopped selling freaking weaponry at Walmart.
Yeah, it's just like also it wasn't like you could go to Walmart and buy like a decent gun.
No, you could only buy bad stuff.
So like, yeah, so people who were like gun nuts are acting like it was like their freedoms were destroyed, but like, we weren't buying a gun from Walmart. Walmart guns sucked. Like, get over yourself. And they're like, yeah, this is destroying America, and then in reality, it's like actually this moves a lot more business into local firearm shops.
Well, yeah, but it's destroying their America.
Also, local firearm shops kind of sick. Like the one in Edinburgh is, I've only ever had a good experiences there.
Really?
Honestly, same.
The people in there are very nice, and always during the pandemic wearing masks.
I like that.
And enforcing a mask wearing policy, which I'm sure as an employee was probably a nightmare at times. But what are you gonna do? Try and get in a fight with a gun store employee in the gun store? I'm just saying.
Would love to see that.
That's the last place I'd start throwing punches. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like the little place. That's always seemed cordial. And it's better than going to like a camping mega store to buy anything.
Yeah.
For real.
I do love camping mega stores. You guys ever been to a Cabela's before?
What'd you call me?
Not yet.
Honestly, the Cabela's, there's the closest one I think is in Wheeling, West Virginia. It is like, it's insane. It's so huge. They have a food court where you can buy ostrich.
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
I'm sold.
It's so cool.
Jackson, what are you doing next week? You want to go on a road trip to West Virginia?
Well, next week my classes start, but I could probably find a day. It's a good time. It's worth going to.
Wild.
Yeah. They just straight up have like ostrich meat and other like rare game meats.
That sounds amazing.
It's so cool.
It's weird. I haven't been in a long ass time, but I bought my comforter there actually.
Huh.
It's just a gray it's just a normal ass comforter. Just gray.
All right.
Because they just sell bedding.
And also
not like outdoor or camping, just bedding. I don't
more power to you.
Yeah, go to Cabela's to buy a desk. It's like IKEA for rednecks.
It's like well, now I'm sold.
Yeah, I love IKEA.
It took me a bit.
I talked about my experiences recently. No, we'll have to stop at IKEA on the way back.
Oh yeah, for sure. With our cooler full of rare animal meat, and then we'll pick up a table to display it on.
You can probably get a table. You can probably get a dozen different kinds of tables at Cabela's. It's huge. Anyway, this episode's gone on for long enough, and we should probably stop talking about.
Are we good? Can we leave?
You can leave. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Next week, if any of our listeners are free after this drops, just come on down to Cabela's. We're gonna have a meet and greet.
Meet.
Meet and greet in the Cabela's in West Virginia.
Yeah.
We know our audience.
The first public off-the-air meet and greet. Yeah, that's right. Wheeling, West Virginia, where most of our fans live, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
We've checked the analytics, and unless everyone's using a VPN, we're set.
If you imagine using a VPN and just setting it to West Virginia,
honestly,
they never see it coming.
Couldn't be me.
That is, I desperately like the idea of having a VPN for West Virginia.
Well,
all right.
Dan, be the change you want to see in the world.
No.
Yeah, Dan. You just gotta go to West Virginia, actually. Then you don't even need the VPN.
It's true. I should just go to West Virginia. You guys, I think I'm going to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, we already knew you were going to be there because, you were coming with me and Jackson for the meet and greet.
Yeah, for the meet and greet.
But other than that, Reno, West Virginia.
I was gonna say, how cheated do you think they'd feel if it was just like one of us?
How cheated do you think anyone would feel if they had to meet us in a Cabela's?
That's true. I don't know if they're real fans, they understand. They'd get it.
Follow us on Twitter.
Real ones meet us in a Cabela's.
Well, my homies know to meet me in a Cabela's.
I think we're done.
Yes, get us out of here. Bye.